This is the power that awakens when you finally walk away. Carl Jung, the moment you stop chasing what was never meant for you, something ancient within you finally breathes. There is a profound mystery in letting go, not the desperate release of someone who has given up, but the conscious choice of a soul that has finally recognized its own worth. Carl Jung understood this sacred transformation when he wrote, "Your vision becomes clear when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." Walking away is not defeat, it is the first act of true self-love. It is the moment when your soul says, "I choose me." And in that choice, something dormant within you stirs to life. For too long you have been the gardener of relationships that bear no fruit, the architect of dreams that crumble in your hands, the keeper of hopes that drain your very essence. But there comes a moment, a sacred threshold, where your spirit whispers, "Enough." Jung believed that our greatest suffering comes not from what we lose, but from our inability to let go of what was never truly ours. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves, he observed. The people, situations, and dreams we cling to often mirror our deepest wounds, our unhealed parts crying out for attention. When you walk away from what no longer serves you, you are not abandoning love. You are choosing a higher form of it. You are saying no to the counterfeit and yes to the authentic. You are refusing to water dead gardens and instead planting seeds in fertile soil. The pain you feel in walking away is not weakness. It is the labor pains of your rebirth. It is your old self dying, so your true self can emerge, Jung reminded. Thus, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. But here you are, facing your soul. Here you are, choosing the difficult path of truth over the comfortable lie of familiarity. In the depths of your decision to walk away lies shadow work, the confrontation with parts of yourself you have long avoided. Perhaps you stayed because you feared being alone. Perhaps you clung because you believed you were not worthy of better. Perhaps you held on because walking away felt like admitting failure. Jung taught us that one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Your shadows, your fears, your insecurities, your need for external validation, they have been the invisible chains binding you to what wounds you. When you finally walk away, you are not just leaving a person, a job, or a situation. You are walking away from the version of yourself that accepted less than you deserved. You are shedding the skin of the person who believed their worth was determined by others' presence or approval. This is alchemy of the highest order. This is the transformation of lead into gold, of suffering into wisdom, of attachment into freedom. The power that awakens is not just your strength, it is your authenticity. It is the voice that has been silenced by compromise, now singing its truth. It is the light that has been dimmed by others' shadows, now blazing with its own radiance. Jung's concept of individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, begins with separation. Not just physical separation, but psychological and spiritual separation from the collective unconscious that tells you to stay, to endure, to sacrifice your soul for others' comfort. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, Jung wrote. But becoming requires unbecoming. It requires walking away from the roles that no longer fit, the masks that no longer serve, the relationships that no longer nourish your soul. In walking away, you are not running from love. You are running toward yourself. You are choosing to love yourself enough to remove yourself from spaces where your light cannot shine. You are honoring the divine spark within you that refuses to be dimmed by others' inability to see your worth. This is sacred rebellion. This is holy selfishness. This is the courage to disappoint others in order to not disappoint your soul. The power that awakens is your innate knowing, the deep cellular understanding that you are worthy of reciprocal love, mutual respect, and authentic connection. You no longer need to convince anyone of your value, because you have finally convinced yourself. Your decision to walk away activates the most ancient of human archetypes, the death and rebirth cycle. Like the phoenix that must burn to rise, Like the seed that must die to become the tree, you must release what you have been to become what you are meant to be. Jung understood this when he said, "In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order." Your life may feel chaotic now, scattered by the winds of change you have set in motion, but within this chaos lies the secret order of your transformation. The old you, the one who stayed too long at parties where you weren't wanted, who watered gardens that grew only thorns, who gave your gold to those who offered only stones in return. That version of you is dying, and this death is not a tragedy. It is a triumph. You are no longer available for relationships that require you to abandon yourself. You are no longer interested in connections that cost you your peace. You are no longer willing to be the supporting character in your own life story. Walking away teaches you the most important lesson of all, that your presence is a gift, not a given. That your energy is sacred, not expendable. That your love is precious, not to be squandered on those who cannot recognize its value. Everything you need, you already have. You are complete right now. You are a whole, total person, not an apprentice. Person on the way to someplace else, Jung reminds us. In walking away, you stop seeking completion in others and start recognizing the wholeness that already exists within you. The power that awakens is self-reverence. It is the profound respect you develop for your own intuition, your own boundaries, your own sacred no. You begin to understand that saying no to what is wrong is the only way to say yes to what is right. You realize that every time you walked away from what diminished you, you walked toward what would elevate you. Every door you closed behind you opened a window ahead of you. Every goodbye to what was wrong was a hello to what was meant to be. In the space created by walking away, you discover the alchemy of solitude. Not loneliness, that aching void that seeks to be filled by others, but solitude, the rich, fertile silence where your true self can finally speak. Jung wrote, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. But in solitude, you communicate with the most important person of all, yourself. Here in the sanctuary of your own company, you learn to enjoy the sound of your own thoughts. You discover that you are interesting, that your own mind is a fascinating place to spend time. You realize that the relationship you have been seeking everywhere else begins with the relationship you have with yourself. The power that awakens is self-companionship. You become your own best friend, your own wise counselor, your own loving parent. You learn to comfort yourself in times of sorrow, to celebrate yourself in times of joy, to believe in yourself when no one else does. As you step into this new power, something magical happens. Your energy shifts, your vibration changes. The desperation that once clung to you like cheap perfume is replaced by the confidence that radiates from knowing your worth. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it, Jung observed. When you walk away from what doesn't serve you, you remove these barriers. You stop blocking your own blessings with your need to make wrong things work. You become magnetic, not because you are chasing, but because you have stopped running. Not because you are available to everyone, but because you are selective about who gets access to your energy. Not because you need others, but because you have learned to fulfill yourself. People begin to notice this shift. The right opportunities start appearing. The right relationships begin forming. The universe, responding to your new vibration, starts conspiring in your favor. Your decision to walk away creates ripples that extend far beyond your immediate circumstances. You become a living example of what it means to honor oneself. You give others permission to do the same. Jung believed that the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Your transformation transforms others. Your courage to walk away gives someone else the courage to do the same. Children watch and learn that they don't have to accept mistreatment. Friends observe and realize they too can set boundaries. Strangers, feel your energy and remember their own worth. You become a catalyst for collective healing, a beacon for those lost in the fog of toxic loyalty and misplaced devotion. Your individual journey toward wholeness contributes to the collective journey toward consciousness. Walking away is ultimately a return to the sacred self that was always there, waiting beneath the layers of conditioning, compromise, and codependence. It is a remembering of who you were before the world told you who you should. Jung spoke of this return when he said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." Your awakening began the moment you looked within and recognized that the love you were seeking everywhere else had been within you all along. You are not broken and do not need fixing. You are not incomplete and do not need completing. You are not lost and do not need finding. You are a whole magnificent being who temporarily forgot their worth and has now remembered it. The power that has awakened is not new, it is ancient. It is the power that has always been yours, now freed from the constraints of seeking approval, avoiding abandonment, and accepting less than you deserve. As you stand in this new space, this sacred territory you have created by honoring yourself, enough to walk away, remember that this is not an ending. This is a beginning. This is not a loss. This is a homecoming. You have returned to yourself, and in doing so, you have found everything you were looking for in all the wrong places. You have discovered that the love, validation, and belonging you sought from others was always available from the most reliable source, yourself. Carl Jung left us with this profound truth. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. But you have done the terrifying thing. You have accepted yourself completely enough to walk away from what does not honor that acceptance. If this reflection spoke to your soul, subscribe. You are not alone. The journey is just beginning.